I can tell you what the curse is on this movie, Dad. It's just plain carelessness and stupidity.
Brian, if anybody was careless and stupid, it was me.
All you did was touch that damn flat and it fell over.
Thank God you weren't hurt, Paige. I think I would have had to shut down the whole production if anything happened to you.
All you'd have to do, Daddy, is hire some more handsome, strong men to make sure the place was secure, that's all.
Oh, well, you're right about that. Trouble is that it's hard to find any crewmen around here. Nobody has any experience.
Well, I think you should have a talk with the crewmen we do have and make sure they know what they're doing.
I think I should be having a talk with the two of you. What were you doing hanging around that place after dark?
We just went over there because we heard about all those mysterious lights. We wanted to catch the ghost of Hester Atherton.
Oh. Well, there are no more mysterious lights, and there aren't going to be any more. I hired a man with a gun, and the funniest thing happened. Ghosts just seemed to vanish.
It was probably a bunch of local kids, Paige. They were trying to see what they could lift.
Oh, I know, Brian. I'm not worried about those ghost stories, but, the truth is that... Forget it.
No. Go on, Paige. What?
Well, right before that flat fell last night, You're gonna laugh at me.
Paige, go ahead and say it.
I thought I saw something. I thought I saw the red, glowing face of a woman. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. That place is kind of spooky in the dark. You could imagine anything.
Well, I'm sure that's all it was, your imagination.
Especially with all this talk about witches and the devil.
Well, don't knock it, Brian. That's what this movie's all about. Witchcraft and the devil. And speaking of the devil, I hope you two realize that we have rehearsal in exactly 1 hour.
That's right. What about Mom? Is she going to be there?
Well, actually, she's not feeling so hot today, Brian, so I just told her to stay home and steady her lines, and we try to do those scenes that just don't include her.
Dad, is she okay?
Oh, yeah, she's okay, Brian, but she's going to be working very hard in this film, and I thought it was probably just a good idea for her to conserve her strength as much as possible.
Sure.
So what I thought we'd do is we'd work on those scenes with you, Paige, you and the attorney, Edmund Wayland, and the first scene with Trent Archer.
Oh, well, I better go get ready.
Well, I guess you better.
Yeah.
Paige and Edmund.
Well, Erwin Lowell's coming tomorrow, the cinematographer.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting him.
Cinematographer. That's quite a word, isn't it? Well, I guess it's better than cameraman.
Dad, I hope he doesn't resent having me as an assistant with my notable lack of experience.
Well, Brian, I think it's going to be Jason Reinhardt who's going to be making most use of your services.
I hope you know that I want to help in any way I can.
Yes, I do, Brian. So I want you to know how much I appreciate your whole attitude during this production.
Thanks, Dad. I guess you know the real reason why I'm working on it. Because my mother would be very bitterly disappointed if I didn't. And I think she's had too many bitter disappointments lately.
Oh, I don't know, Brian. I think she's been through the worst of it. She's going to come through this fine. And who knows? Maybe be a movie star again, huh?
That'd be terrific, wouldn't it? If it happened. I don't think it's something she can count on, do you?
Well, who can foretell the future, huh? Even with witchcraft.
You can never be sure about a career. Or a marriage. Dad, listen, there's something that I've got to tell you. I overheard something the other day. I didn't mean to. I just heard it. I know it's none of my business and that even parents have the rights of privacy.
What is it, Brian?
Deborah Saxon.
I see.
What did you hear exactly?
Exact words don't matter.
Oh, indeed they do, Brian. You heard that I was seeing Deborah.
Yes, sir.
What does the word seeing mean to you?
The important thing is what it means to Mom.
Brian, I'm not going to try to justify myself to you or tell you everything that goes on between your mother and myself. But I do want you to know this much. I'm not having an affair with Deborah Saxon. Now, I am seeing her. And at the moment, I'm going to continue seeing her because it's very important to me.
Dad, listen
now,
to me.
Now, wait a minute, Brian. Let me just finish. I also want you to know that your mother knows what's going on. Now, I don't mean to suggest that she approves it or even understands it. But, Brian, I'm trying to be as honest as I possibly can about this.
Dad, you don't have to tell me all this. I don't need explanations or justifications. I just felt that you should be told how much I know.
I appreciate your consideration. Brian, right now, the thing this family has to concentrate on is getting this movie made. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody in here want to borrow a book called What to Name the Baby?
Logan, come on in. It's good to see you.
Listen, when I heard the news, wild horses couldn't keep me away. A couple tried right outside the office, but I lost them in traffic. How about a little kiss? I'm so happy for you. I'm sorry about the bump, but I'm happy about the baby, you know, as long as it doesn't look like Draper.
What do you got behind your back?
What? Where? Something behind my back? Oh, those!
Barney?
Yes.
Oh, look, and they're beautiful.
Just like you.
Thank you. Pull up a chair.
No, I thought you'd never ask.
So, you can put them in here.
Oh. There we go.
Oh, they're beautiful. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome.
So, tell me, how's Jamie?
Oh, fine. Fine. Nothing phases him. He just grins and bears it. I envy him.
Good. Geraldine's taking care of him.
Yeah, she's crazy about him. Couldn't be more crazy about him if she was his mother. And she's made me a solemn vow that she will not behave like a stereotype grandmother and spoil him to death. She's going to leave that to me.
Terrific. Listen, by any chance, did you hear any of the mean and rotten things I happened to say about Geraldine Saxon?
No, what did you say?
Good, because I was going to ask you to forget all about them.
Oh, I think we'd both like to forget most of what's happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd say just about all of it.
Uh-huh.
Except maybe for one thing.
What's that?
Well, when my husband walked into my hospital room and told me that I was with child.
Oh, yes, I can imagine that. Tell me, how long has it been since the doctors, in their wisdom, told you that you would never have a child?
Oh, a year. A year. What a strange way to find out. I mean, I come in the hospital, I'm admitted to the hospital with a concussion, and I walk out pregnant.
Miracle of modern science. Yeah. Either that or the hospital was having a 2-for-1 sale.
What?
Shoppers, would all women with concussions please report to the maternity ward?
Oh, don't make me laugh too hard. It hurts. In all seriousness, though, Logan, can you forgive me for the mean things I did for claiming that Jamie was mine?
I know how you felt. Besides, you had a good deal of right on your side. That's why I was so scared. Raven had the right to dispose of Jamie any way she wanted to. She was the only legal parent.
But she was not the only parent, and I knew that. I always knew that you were Jamie's father. Just that I wanted him so much. I adore that little kid. I mean, I didn't want to admit the truth. I didn't want to think things out clearly.
Well, it's hard to think logically when you're in the middle of something like that.
And then to top it all off, it split Draper and me up.
Split? What split up? I mean, you moved away for a few blocks for a little while.
Well, it seemed like 100 miles, and it seemed like 100 years. It was awful.
And to think, the whole time you were pregnant. Oh, wow, I I talked to Steve Guthrie this morning to change the subject, and he told me that you do not want to press charges against Elliot.
No, there's no point to it. Look, I don't want to put Elliot in jail. I would just be happy if he gets out of Margot's life.
Another marriage bites the dust, huh?
Sorry.
Oh, come on. Don't you read the statistics? 4.7 out of all 10 marriages in the country end in divorce. Something. Oh, wait a minute. No, the closing figure last night I think was 5.3.
What, Dow Jones?
Straight up. You throw in all the separations and the unhappy marriages that stay together for the sake of the children or some rotten reason.
Hey, you're going to depress us.
Oh, no. Don't want to do that. You haven't got time to be depressed. You're going to be too busy being a mama. I haven't got time to be depressed. I'm too busy trying to hang on to my job. Which reminds me, you've got to be well enough on election day to vote early and often.
Hey, well, I would think that under the circumstances, you know, I could legitimately vote twice.
Votes for the unborn. What an issue.
Hey, listen, we all know who the best man for the job is.
Oh, yeah? Oh, speak into the microphone here. A little unsolicited testimonial,
Well,
yes?
I'm kind of camera shy.
Well, Just use superlatives. They look good on the posters.
Okay,
all right?
Logan Swift, I just want to tell you that I think you are one of the most
Creative now.
goodest.
Goodest! Very nice.
I mean it. I mean it. I think you are one of the best men I know in the whole world.
Oh, gee, ma'am.
I mean it.
I gotta get Draper into a poker game real soon. I'm gonna clean up. The man is bound to be very unlucky at cards.
Hey, I don't want to see an 18-year-old kid in prison either, Draper, but being 18 makes him an adult in this state.
Look, Nelson, if the kid had taken his joyride one day earlier, he would have been 17.
What?
It's right there in the brief, look.
Yeah, you're right. It did happen on his birthday. But that doesn't give him an excuse to steal a car as a birthday present.
He didn't steal it. It belonged to a friend of his. He was returning it when the policeman picked him up.
Yeah, you believe that, and I got a bridge I want to sell you.
Yeah, I do believe it. And you'd believe it, too, if you talked to him. Talk to his family. Come on. Give the kid's family a break.
Well, maybe we're giving the kid's family a break by putting this kid in jail, huh?
You need a soul, Nelson.
You think I'm mean, right?
No. You need a new pair of shoes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We assistant district attorneys don't get the money you defense attorneys get. Can I really come off that vicious? Hey, I think I'm a soft-hearted guy. Look, it's my opinion that that's the reason why Logan is running for district attorney and all I'm running for is a bus every morning. Hey, if I wanted to be mean, if I wanted to play power politics, don't get me started.
Look, let's leave Logan Swift out of this and deal with Charlie Robinson, all right?
You should see that guy around the office, Draper. I mean, he is useless. His wife walks out on him and all he's doing now is bumping into walls.
Let's just deal with the case.
What's the matter? Don't you care?
I do.
I thought you were supposed to be his best friend or something.
I am.
Well, then you better talk to him, because he is in serious trouble. I think he's going to lose this election. I mean, what does it look like? His wife won't even vote for him.
Oh, that's enough, Nelson. Look at the latest polls. They put him points ahead of his opponent.
Yeah, and look at the dates of those polls. That's before Raven flew off to London. Look, politics is a very funny business, Draper. They'll forgive you if you lie or you cheat or you take a bribe, but fool around with your secretary or let your wife walk out on you. Nah, we don't want no district attorney around here who's a lousy lover.
I didn't know you were worried about him.
Oh, I am. He's my friend, too.
He's also your boss. And if he were here right now, we'd be talking business instead of nonsense. So let's get to it, all right? What is taking you so long? That brief is only 2 pages. Triple spaced.
I'm thinking. I'm a very careful reader.
Obviously not careful enough. You know, now I know why I was able to pull that videotape stunt on you with Winter Austin. And why I was able to push Paige Madison's litigation past you so quickly. You have a 3rd grade reading level. Hey, look, come on. I know that Charlie Robinson was arrested before, but he was a kid, a minor, 15. He got picked up for...
Very touching story.
Look, Logan told me you weren't allowed to give me a hard time on this matter.
Logan said what? Hey, I make up my own mind on these cases. And I don't think I want this guy to get off, all right? That's my decision, Counselor. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta run.
Eating those words is going to give you indigestion, Nelson. Oh. You know, when I was younger, I thought attorneys had more integrity than anybody else in the world. I mean, that's why I wanted to become a lawyer. I thought the law was an honorable business, conducted by honorable people in an honorable way. I think maybe now you're the exception. And as far as making up your own mind, oh, Nelson, you've been sitting on the sidelines so long, I don't think you're smart enough to be a quarterback.
Wonderful metaphor. Who writes your material? You forget that Brutus was also an honorable man. I took an oath when I passed the bar examination of this state to uphold the law, even against 18-year-olds. I'll remember this, Draper.
We'll do this one on our feet, all right? Just you and Willard, Page? First, I want to make sure you both understand the situation.
It's my character I want to understand, Jason. What does Whalen feel for this young woman?
Paternal sympathy, of course.
Oh, what a shame, old boy. I was hoping for overpowering lust.
All right, Paige. As for you, please remember, you've lost both your parents in a fire overnight. Now, you're completely without a home or with anyone to look after you. And you're afraid of the big, cruel world outside.
Okay.
All right, now you've just arrived at this big old gloomy mansion in Salem, Massachusetts. You've yet to meet the woman who will be in charge of your life.
And your death.
Well, let's not get ahead of the story, Owen. I like to see it unfold. I think actors do their best work in sequence.
Are we going to spend all day on the theory of acting? I thought we were going to rehearse my first scene, too.
We were, Trent, but we do have a problem. Nola couldn't be here today.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Archer. We'll do it anyway, right after we do this. Brian, I understand you'd like to videotape the scene.
Oh, yes, sir. I thought it would be useful to study the tape before filming.
Well, that's a fine idea. Excuse me, please. Willard, if you'll stand over by the staircase, please. Paige, take the chair over there.
Okay.
You know where we're going? All right, if you'll begin, please.
What a big house this is.
It's a castle, my dear. It's a recreation of a feudal castle in Brittany. Oh, you can almost see a medieval knight clanking around this room. Do you know much about knights?
Well, I have read Mort d'Arthur. It was one of my favorite books. It was a very romantic period, wasn't it?
Well, I'll tell you about knights, patient. They were short.
What?
That's true. You can see the medieval armor in the museum. They were very short men, these bold knights. Oh, don't fret, child. Just live up to your name. Miss Atherton will be here shortly.
Mr. Whalen, do you think Miss Atherton will like me?
Oh, she will. All you have to do is remember the virtues they taught you in school. They did teach virtue.
Well, I studied French and Latin, history and mathematics, and something they called deportment. Is that anything like virtue?
Absolutely. That's the best definition I have ever heard of virtue, deportment. There's only one problem, my child. Why did you have to be so lovely?
Oh, that's fine, just fine. You do it that way on film and we'll have a charming scene. Don't you think so, Owen?
Oh, it looked great to me. What'd you think, Trent?
Oh, why is it so damn warm in here?
Well, actually, I thought it was rather cool.
Well, it isn't. It's as hot as the hinges of hell.
Please, don't use that word.
I put the air conditioner up a notch. That ought to cool the place down, Mr. Archer.
Thank you, thank you.
Are you sure you're up to rehearsing this scene?
Let's get on with it.
All right, Paige, if you wouldn't mind standing in for Nola, please. Somebody get Paige's script, please.
Here.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Archer, as you know, you are the devil, but in human form. Mr. Nicholas Harriman, businessman.
I know.
Anytime.
I admit that the devil was born in man's imagination, Miss Atherton. How, as you know, what Voltaire said, if God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. The same thing applies to the devil.
But if the devil is only imaginary, Mr. Harriman, we have nothing to fear from him.
My sentiments, Miss Atherton, you have nothing to fear as long as you don't believe.
Well, I don't. Not in the devil, not in witchcraft, and most especially not in the powers of my ancestor, the first Hester Atherton.
She looked very much like you know.
Did she? How do you know?
Her portrait, of course.
There was no portrait.
Then I am mistaken. Excuse me. Do you mind if I stand by the fire?
flames are dying.
Yes. Now let us get down to business, Miss Atherton. As I said, I may be interested in purchasing this mill of yours. If the price is right, and if we... Line.
If we cannot come to terms about the mill...
If we cannot come to terms about the mill, perhaps we can discuss another purchase.
Such as what? I have nothing more to sell.
Don't you?
I once heard that my ancestor sold her soul to the devil.
People place too much value on their immortal souls. What good is a product with only one buyer?
Trent!
Daddy, what is the matter with you?
I think he collapsed.
Dear God, it's really true. There really is a curse on this movie.